Good evening, Chief Justice.
Are you well?
I am well, Chief Justice.
We apologize to you that you had to wait this long before we could get to you. We had the opportunity to interview you for the same position about 2 years ago. Is that correct?
That's right, Chief Justice.
What has changed? What additional information favorable to you would you like to share with us to show that you are even more qualified for the position than you were the last time you came here?
Right. Thank you, Chief Justice. Last time I gave a bit of a background of my early childhood, and perhaps I must start it from the time when I started.
This time we just want what happened ever since we interviewed you.
Right.
Additional information or subsequent developments that have improved your prospect of being appointed to the position of DJP.
Right.
Yes.
Chief Justice.
Like acting as a Deputy Judge President, right. How that helped, that kind of thing. Or the judgments that you have since written, positive developments that you believe have contributed to your, have enhanced your prospect of being appointed.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Following my interviews the last October, as Chief Justice and Commissioners would have been aware, I had acted as the Judge President in that division, albeit it was for a period of a month. Subsequent to that, for a period of 5 months, starting from July 2017 to December 2017, I acted as a Deputy Judge President in that same division.
That's for how many months?
For 5 months.
So you first acted as JP before you came here for 1 month, and then you subsequently acted as DJP for 5 months.
As DJP of the Northern Cape High Court.
Yes.
For 5 months. And from January 2018 up until June 2018, I acted in the Labour Appeal Court and the Labour Court as the Deputy Judge President. I was
in the space created by the elevation of JP Tlaleti to the position of JP.
Indeed, Chair.
Okay.
Indeed, Chair. I was supposed to have gone on long leave from July up until December, but the Judge President of the Labour Court pleaded with me to stay on at the Labour Court as the acting Deputy Judge President, to which I acceded to. For me, I took it as a further opportunity to grow, and I took that with both hands. I rose to that opportunity and acted at the Labour Court. And during my acting stint, both in the perhaps maybe even further on, I must say that at the present moment, I'm the acting Deputy Judge President at the Northern Cape High Court with effect from January up until now.
So you've acted, you've had the additional acting stint of so far 3 months.
Right.
All in all, you've acted as DJP for the Northern Cape for 8 months.
For 8 months.
Okay. Anything else?
Would the Chief like me to add?
No. If any, you don't. If there is anything you want to briefly add to what you've already told us.
About my acting stints or how I discharge my duties in that office as a Deputy Judge President.
No. Is there anything you want to add, or have you said what you needed to say to demonstrate that you are now right for the position? You've had additional opportunities to grow, or to position yourself well for this vacancy?
Right, thank you, Chief Justice. Indeed, I had the opportunity to grow in this position as a Deputy Judge President. I have assisted both the JPs in the Labour Court and in the Northern Cape in discharging some of the responsibilities as delegated to me as the Deputy Judge President. When my Judge President is not present in the office, I will be executing those duties, and I did so to the best of my ability. As I say, the JP of the Labour Court would not have requested me to stay on if I had not discharging my duties as I was supposed to have discharged my duties. I would attend to, for instance, Chief Justice, the problems by litigants. And perhaps maybe in anticipation of this question coming, one may say, what happened in the Labour Court and the Labour Appeal Court during the time when you were sitting as the Deputy Judge President? We see that there are a number of outstanding judgments that the judges did not deliver. What did you have to do? Now, Chief Justice, the Labour Court is very loaded. It has a very, very heavy caseload. I'm looking at the population figure of the Republic of South Africa. It's about 57 million people. I've also checked on the statistics as forwarded to us by Stats SA. Of those statistics, 16.4 million are working population. And if regard is had to that, one could easily argue that not all people who are working would have disputes or would be litigating, but they are potential litigants and contributes heavily so to the caseloads of the Labour Court. I had at times to deal with the complaints by members of the public. Here and there you will get a complaint, and here we're delivering a service, and we've got a statutory obligation to do so as expeditiously as possible. Some of these people had lost their employment. They have children to feed, and what do we do about their situation? You try to attend to all the complaints as they do come. You sit with the judge as well, and you know at the back of your mind that the judge is heavily loaded. How do we go about resolving this problem? And the judge would say, DJP, I'm on it. I'm writing a judgment, and I'll be responding to the litigant in question. How do we go about resolving this problem? I have had on occasion to speak to my Judge President, who reported to me that he has raised this issue, but it seems to me the problem really is capacity.
Yes.
That court would have to be capacitated. We need to have more judges employed in that court.
Yes. JP?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good evening, Judge Phatshoane.
Thank you, JP.
Yes, I want to comment generally about collegiality in the division and whether if you were to be recommended, will you be well accepted by your colleagues?
Chief Justice, I believe that if I were to be appointed, I will be well received by the colleagues. So far, I've never had any difficulty in working with any of my colleagues. We act courteously towards one another. There is that extreme collegiality amongst us as professionals. And some of my colleagues congratulated me rather with my nomination to this position. And I cannot see that there would be any difficulty insofar as that is concerned.
And any initiatives that you have taken to assist in the building of the collegiality and assisting colleagues in the division?
Chief Justice, at times we would have to go out as judges. During judges' birthdays, one would present a cake. I think, in my view, that's some kind of promotion of collegiality amongst the judges. That I have done, Chief Justice. Thank you.
Is there any case that you can draw to our attention where, with the benefit of hindsight, you would say you wouldn't have done it that way?
a case.
I'm just speaking in general, yes. I'm not specifying any particular case. I just want to know if there is anything that you want to share.
Of the cases that I have dealt with, matters that came before me, that I would have said, I would have done this differently. I can't think of any.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you, Chief
JP.
Justice.
Thank you so much. MEC?
Thank you, Chief Justice. Good evening, Judge Phatshoane.
Good evening, MEC.
I think you appearing at the interviews now for the third time
Right, right,
for the same position.
for the same position.
Why do you think you were not considered in the previous 2 occasions? According to you, what is your impression about that?
Well, it's a difficult question. I think the same question was asked of me the previous time. My answer to that was I have no idea, and I then said perhaps maybe the real reason why I was not appointed could be because the first time around I had not really threshed out what was set out on my CV. And yeah, but to be honest with you, I don't know, and it is difficult to speculate. Perhaps maybe one of the things I might need to say at this stage is my vision in that division and the issue of transformation.
No. Just confine yourself to the MEC's questions, yes.
No, thanks, Chief Justice. You said you're not aware of any challenges amongst yourself and your colleagues. So there's a good working relationship, and they have encouraged you to apply, or probably also wished you well. So we take it that there are no issues there. I raised this question the other time as well, but I'm just gonna, on 166, feedback from law bodies.
166.
Book 1 of 1. Judicial Service this one. You don't have it.
I think just raise the question with MEC, she will respond.
Okay. On Judge Bulela Phakati's response, and this is now a quotation from the City Press of 8 October 2017. Phakati said that she had not applied for the Deputy Judge President position earlier that year because retired Judge President Home had indicated that he had hunted Phatshoane. He says, I did not apply in April because I knew that Judge President Home said this is the person he wanted, so I knew it was useless, said Phakati. Do you think that there is a possible issue that can arise should you be appointed on the basis of a perception that you were always the preferred candidate for the Deputy Judge President of the Northern Cape?
Thank you for the question, Commissioner, MEC. I've never been headhunted for the position or for any other position in the Northern Cape. I do not understand the statement, but I certainly have not been headhunted. The previous time when I attended the interviews, I had indicated the way I came to the Northern Cape. It was through a colleague Judge Molemela. But first, perhaps I must put it this way. At some point, the Judge President, as I understand, advised Judge Molemela that he was looking for a black female attorney who could act in the Northern Cape, and preferably someone with a labor law background. Because I fitted that description, Judge Molemela took my CV and gave it to Judge President Khomo. In November 2009, Judge President Khomo telephoned me to request me if I would make myself available to act in the Northern Cape. And I remember that I saw Judge Khomo for the first time in January 2010, after having agreed and after I had thought long and hard about this, whether I wanted to become a judge or not. I saw Judge President Khomo for the very first time in January 2010 when I took my oath of office, and significantly so at the Constitution Hill in 2010. So I don't understand the whole question of being headhunted. I've never been headhunted to that division. And I continue doing my work the best way I can in that division, proving myself. When opportunities arose, I would automatically volunteer. If Sajay requests judges to participate in certain processes, I will raise my hand and I will go and participate in those processes. One of those processes was a meeting that was held in Pretoria by the University of Pretoria, where other judges from across the country were called to attend that meeting. It was on the justiciability of socio-economic rights that I had attended there, and I did a presentation. There were other countries, Ghana, I think, was one of the countries, Malawi, and other African countries. The next day, I presented the justiciability of socio-economic rights in South Africa. Justice Jacob was there. After I had made my presentation, he came to me and he gave me a hand and said to me that was a job well done. So all the time, when opportunities present themselves, I will make myself available. If there are things that needs to be done at the division, like attending to the rules, I remember my judge president, my current judge president, in January last year, sent to me a pack of draft practice directives when I was still at the Labour Court to see if I do have comments or not on those draft practice directives. I made extensive extensive amendments on those practice directives. I contributed a lot to the growth of our division. I participated in the judicial case flow management.
So you were not headhunted for this position?
I'm trying to.
All right.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
SMC?
Yes. So I guess you're saying there's not a fair comment on you by your colleague.
Definitely not.
All right. Thank you. You wanted earlier on to tell us about your vision on transformation. Would you want to do that now?
She did that last time, did you not? Didn't you share your vision with us?
On transformation.
Yes. So we wanted additional information, and I think you gave it to us. MEC, if you don't mind, unless you wanted to repeat it.
No, I'm not sure whether that happened, but
It wasn't really an extensive one that I had made, and given the opportunity, I could.
You would repeat it.
Yeah.
Yes. She did, MEC.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks, Chair. All right.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Mpofu?
Thank you. Yes. Do you know Mr. Msimang? Mr. Muzim Msimang?
Do I know him?
Yeah.
Msimang.
No? Yes, do you know Mr. Muzim Simang?
Muzim Simang.
Yeah? No, okay. I see that you are nominated by, the letters of nominations are from Mr. Msimang and Judge Mjali. Do you know how did they get to know that you were nominated?
I do not know. Can I have a look at the letter from Mr. Msimang? I only know of one nomination and that I submitted, and that was the nomination from Judge Mjali.
Oh, have you got, oh no, it's a comment, yeah. A comment on you, you've got book 1 of 1.
I haven't been given any books.
I think you can just put it to her.
Okay, there's a letter of comment from, it says comments by the Black Lawyers Association signed by Mr. Msimang. Have you seen that?
I remember the comment from the Black Lawyers Association.
BLA.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Judge Mjali, how did she know that you were being nominated?
Judge Mjali is a judge. These advertisements are circulated around, and all judges get to see the advertisement. The first time around, when I applied, when I had sent through my nomination, was because she saw the advertisement. She called me and said...
In 2017?
2017, April 2017. And she called me and said to me that I've seen the nomination. Would you be interested in making yourself available? And I said, yes, I'll make myself available. And then she prepared the nomination and forwarded it to me.
And in 2018,
and
the same thing happened?
The same applied to the, at that stage, the International Association of Women Judges. I did receive a call from them, asked me if I wanted to make myself available for the position of Judge President at that stage and Deputy Judge President. I said to them, no, I would like to make myself available for the position of Deputy Judge President because I wanted to see myself grow into this position. Okay. So I declined the other one of a nomination for the JP and accepted the Deputy Judge President. The same applied with regard to the current interviews. The nominations in respect thereof, Judge Mjali again called and asked if I would be interested once more in making myself available. I said yes, and she nominated me.
Okay, you did not tell her that the advert was out and then and asked her to do the nomination?
She picked up on the advertisement.
Okay, thank you.
Chairperson Modise.
Thank you, CJ. Me Phatshoane dumela. Hoe vlot is Afrikaans?
My Afrikaans is bietjie goed. Ek verstaan Afrikaans. Ek kan my proceedings in Afrikaans hanteer.
And
my Afrikaans is fairly good. I can understand. I can converse in Afrikaans, but I won't say it's flot Afrikaans.
And nobody complained about the quality of your Afrikaans?
No.
It is not a requirement for you to speak Afrikaans?
It is not a requirement for me to speak Afrikaans.
Okay. The last time you were here, you were with, not you and Judge Phakathi came for the same position.
Right.
What happened when you got back home? Did you try and patch up things? Did you reach out to each other as the women judges in the Northern Cape?
Chairperson, Judge Phakathi was interviewed here, and after her interviews, I was called in, and I was asked questions about what were the challenges in the division. I had no idea that there were some things that she said in this commission. Afterwards, I got to watch her interviews, and I was completely shocked, and I was very hurt, because all along I thought that we were friends. But be that as it may, Chairperson, I've got broad shoulders. As a leader, you have to have broad shoulders. I am magnanimous. You see these things, you hurt, but at the end of the day, if you keep on being hurt, it's not going to help you. You forgive someone and you move on with your life, and that's what I've tried to do. But from the division side, the JP also tried, after what had transpired, the challenges that were said to have been in the division. As I said, I was not aware of any challenges that were in the division. Even now, I'm still not aware of the challenges that were in the division. But be that as it may, with the help of our JP, President Hlophe was called in to mediate what could have been the dispute between the parties. We sat at the mediation table, and we all had to say whether we had issues or no issues, and what issues did we have. No issues really were put on the table before Judge President Hlophe, except that colleagues that were present said that they had not been afforded an opportunity to act. That was all. But be that as it may, to answer to your question, Commissioner Modise, yes, one tried to extend your hand. Judge Phakathi and I have a cordial working relationship. Where we meet, we exchange pleasantries. If I give her work to do as the acting DJP, she will accept the work and she would do the work. And
she works well. Because I'm asking this not for you to give a judgment on the quality of her work, but to really find out if there is any good working relationship in that division of yours.
To find out if there's really a good working relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, no, there is a good working relationship between us. We sit in the tea room together, we exchange pleasantries, we discuss things in the tea room. To that extent, between us, our relationship is cordial.
And when you were the acting DJP, you did your responsibility as the acting leader for Judge Phakathi?
Yes, yes, yes. As the DJP or acting DJP in the division, when the JP is not there, your duty is to assign work and see to it that the business of the court runs, and I treat all my colleagues fairly, and work is distributed equitably amongst my colleagues.
And as the acting DJP, you are aware that she was given a fair chance to act?
She was given an opportunity to act, indeed, Chair.
And she acted?
She acted, yes.
Would you say that both of you got a fair opportunity to act? Both of you, equally?
Well, she acted, I acted for about 18 months, but for the better part of my acting stint, I was not acting in the Northern Cape High Court, I was acting in the Labour Court, in the Labour Appeal Court. She acted for a term. What happened is this, Commissioner Modise, in that year, this is what happened. Judge Phakathi acted first, and for the first term. The second term, another judge was appointed to act. The third term, another judge was appointed to act. and the fourth term. And when the cycle started again, I started to act this January in the Northern Cape Division.
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Judge Phatshoane. You're excused.